UFC Fight Night, Amanda Lemos versus Verna Jandiroba. This is a pretty garbage fight night. I mean, we just had one, but I feel like this is worse, to be honest. It doesn't have a lot of good fights. Well, there's a few. Steve Garcia should be a good fight, but a lot of boring, very close fights to pick as well. So on the betting side of things, not very good. But on to the first fight. Usman versus Thomas Peterson. This is going to be a sloppy, boring fight. Thomas Peterson, his hands are not good. He's he's got good grappling. I mean, that causes issues, but I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna just go Usman. He has not looked good at all. Doesn't even have much KO power, to be honest, for his size. He's not even that big. He's only like 237 for a heavyweight, but he looks bigger than that. But I'm gonna go with Usman. Lackluster decision, but close fight. I mean, hard to pick. Like pretty much every single one on this card, except for a few. Next fight, Luliana Carolina versus Lucy Hudliova. This is a terrible fight. It's gonna be pretty boring, but I'm gonna go with Lucy. She's the bigger girl. Neither are very good. I mean, Luana could win. I mean, I don't really know. I wouldn't bet on this at all. But on to the next one. Trey Ogden versus Loic. I'm gonna go with Trey Ogden. I mean, he comes in with a smart game plan and he fights. He doesn't take unnecessary risk, which is a good thing. Loic, although Loic does have some power, so I mean, I could see him getting it up against the fence and possibly KOing Trey, but Trey should just implement the takedowns and do what he do and win. So I'm gonna go with him. But it's a close fight again, like the other ones. Next one, Barbosa versus Maverick. I'm going Barbosa. She is aggressive. She tries to finish. I mean, she didn't do too good on the last fight, but she's got better striking than Maverick, and I don't know. I don't think Maverick's too good, but if she can control on the top, she could win. But it's probably going to be a boring decision unless Barbosa gets a submission, which she might. But close fight. I'm just going to go with Barbosa. Next fight, another pretty low level fight. Brian Kelleher versus Cody Gibson. These dudes are not good. It took Cody Gibson like 2 tries to get to the UFC, and he's just looked horrible. But he's gonna win because Brian Kelleher is even worse. He had like neck surgery, I'm pretty sure, and he just looked horrible against who was it, Cody Garbrandt. So he should just lose. I mean, it's that simple. But I mean, it's probably not going to be a very good fight. Next fight, Hyder Mill versus Yeong Lee. I'm going with Lee. He beat Blake Builder pretty easily, and he's not horrible. Hyder Mill is undefeated, but when I watched his last fights, he could have lost them. You know, there was moments in the fights where he didn't look too good, so I'm going with Lee. Next fight, Du Hu Choi versus Bill Algio. Close fight again, like all of them, but I think Du Hu Choi is just going to beat him. He looked pretty good against Kyle Nelson. He won that. And then, Bill, I don't think he's looked very good at all. He's like 2-3 in his last five, I think. I'm not sure. He's probably gonna lose, but close fight like the rest of them. Next fight, Kurt Hollabaugh versus Cayenne. Kurt Hollabaugh is, I mean, he's not very good. And he lost his last fight because he just couldn't do anything, and he doesn't have good hands. So I'm just gonna go with Cayenne. He's the better grappler and striker. Also, Kurt is 37 years old. That's not good. It's pretty old for lightweight division. So this should be a good fight. Steve Garcia versus Seong Woo Choi. This is just going to come down who gets clipped first and who has the better chin and more power. And I think Garcia has that. He's looked pretty good lately. And Choi, pretty sure he got knocked out basically like 3 times in his last fight. His chin is not good. It's obviously getting worse. So I'm going to go with Garcia. These dudes are probably going to stand and bang. And then Garcia's going to do what he does best and just KO people. His last few fights have ended in like the first round by KO. So I'm going with him. Next fight, Brad Tavares versus John Young Park. I'm going with Brad. I don't think the Iron Turtle can do much. He's doesn't have power. Submissions aren't that good. He looked horrible against Andre Muniz. And I think, Brad Tavares, he's lost to just guys with KO power and actual threat. Good guys. DDP, Robert Whitaker. I mean, even Gregory Rodriguez is pretty good. Good, he's got good power. So I don't think the Iron Turtle is going to do much. He might try to stink it up, but I think Brad is going to do what he's going to have to do and win this fight. Probably by just a boring decision. So on to the main event: Amanda Lemos versus Verna. Uh, this is again a close fight, like pretty much every single one except for I think Steve Garcia. I don't think that's a close fight, but it's a 5 rounder, and Verna gasses pretty bad, but she could get the submission early. But if Lemos survives that, I think she's going to get the KO or decision because she doesn't gas. So I'm going to go with Lemos, the striker, to win this. Anyways, this is a pretty bad card. Hopefully, the next few are better for, entertainment and betting wise. But these are my picks for UFC Fight Night: Amanda Lemos versus Verna Jandiroba. Thanks for watching.